The unceasing pursuit of wisdom takes us down the less traveled path, yet it proves to be the most rewarding journey in our lives. Some things are akin to seeds that we carefully plant in the quiet sanctuaries, away from prying eyes, allowing them to flourish and grow without external interference. This is where the wisdom of the Stoics shines. They teach us the art of guarding and cultivating our inner selves without the rush to flaunt it to the world. These great thinkers from history understood that not everything should be laid bare, as they treasured their secrets, accomplishments, and lessons. They comprehended that revealing too much about the true essence of things might lead to their loss. Every joy, every sorrow, every lesson, and every challenge they faced contributed to the story they composed. By refraining from sharing everything without discretion, they recognized that we might stop living deeply, much like a flower that can't thrive if it's constantly touted. Our growth, too, demands privacy, a space of our own where we confront our mistakes and victorias and decide how to move forward. When we choose not to share something, it's not about concealing but safeguarding. Genuine growth results from the equilibrium between what we reveal and what we hold just for ourselves. In a world that tends to showcase everything, it can be challenging to recognize and appreciate the depth behind our accomplishments. In this video, we'll explore 11 subjects that we recommend keeping to yourself, as each of them carries its own significance. Stay tuned until the end of the video to discover why. Number 1. Refrain from talking about your achievements. Imagine diving into the deep, dark waters of your own soul. The Stoics believed that the pursuit of wisdom and virtue resembled this profound journey. They believed that true fulfillment lay not in displaying external triumphs, but in introspection and continuous evolution. Every challenge and struggle was fought not in public arenas, but in the silent landscapes of the spirit. By discussing their victories, they offered us a deep reflection on ego and vanity. When nurtured, these traits can become barriers that stand between us and true virtue. The Stoics understood that the relentless pursuit of external recognition and praise ties us to chains of pride, trapping us in the empty pursuit of fleeting applause, a path filled with disappointment. However, the Stoics imparted a precious teaching. True achievement isn't the one that's flaunted for admiration, but the one that silently transforms the community, nurturing noble values like justice, compassion, and wisdom. Wealth, for these ancient sages, wasn't accumulated in vaults, but in the depths of a balanced and serene soul. Instead of celebrating triumphs or withering in defeat, they embraced a quiet acceptance of all the whims of life. They invited us to recognize that the dance of existence is orchestrated by melodies often beyond our control. In this remarkable silence, we find a deliberate choice, a commitment to genuine greatness. They believed that true majesty lay in living with integrity, dedicating oneself to the collective. They left us with the legacy that humility, sincerity, and the ceaseless pursuit of wisdom were the true pillars of a life worth living. Number 2. Avoid discussing challenges not overcome. In the Stoic path to wisdom and virtue, every step was filled with meaning. Deviations and stumbling blocks weren't mere obstacles. They carved the soul, shaped character, and taught about the true nature of grandeur. It wasn't the visible triumph that counted, but the internal battles, often invisible, that determined a person's inner strength. But if these struggles held so much value, why did the Stoics advise not to speak about challenges not overcome? The answer lies in their astute perception of human nature. They believed that ego and pride could cloud our vision, making us blind to true virtue. The relentless pursuit of external recognition and praise could be a veil that hides our true potential. The Stoics didn't value achievements that could be easily displayed as trophies. They sought true glory in acts that elevated humanity, acts rooted in values like justice, generosity, and wisdom. Real wealth for them wasn't in the shine of gold, but in the radiance of morally upright character and a tranquil soul. The philosophy of loving fate was fundamental to this understanding. The Stoics didn't despair in the face of adversity. Instead, they balanced the taste of victory and defeat with equanimity, aware that the tapestry of life is woven with threads of circumstances often beyond our control. Number 3, don't talk about your good deeds. Imagine a candle that silently lights up a dark room. Its light is gentle, unobtrusive, but it warms and illuminates everything around it. Kindness for the Stoics was much like this flame. They believed that true generosity didn't need to be proclaimed in public squares or shouted from the mountaintops. It should be a genuine and subtle gesture done out of the simple desire to do good without expecting praise in return. Why might this perspective seem strange in today's self-promotion culture? For a profound reason, the Stoics recognize the danger of turning kindness into a spectacle. If we brag about every altruistic act, we might inadvertently seek the fleeting warmth of applause. Keeping our good deeds in the cloak of anonymity provides us with a sacred moment of reflection and pause, a moment of intimate connection with ourselves where we can question whether our actions were genuine or motivated by other interests. This secret self-analysis becomes a catalyst for personal improvement. The Stoics believe that true kindness doesn't seek the spotlight. It manifests in acts of compassion, quiet and authentic. This timeless wisdom envelops us with its essence and reminds us of a fundamental truth. Often, the greatest act of kindness is the one offered without expecting anything in return. Number 4, avoid talking about your resentment. Resentment is like an anchor that can weigh down the spirit, preventing it from sailing freely through the seasons of life. The Stoics invite us to reflect deeply on the invisible weight of resentment. They saw harboring resentment as an anchor that prevented the spirit from sailing freely through the seasons of life. The Stoics acknowledged the invisible weight of resentment. They compared it to an anchor that prevented the spirit from sailing freely through life seasons. However, they also believed that it could be released. They saw resentment as an anchor that could prevent the spirit from sailing freely through life seasons, but they also believed it could be released. The Stoics saw resentment as an anchor that could prevent the spirit from sailing freely through life seasons, yet they also believed it could be released. By embracing forgiveness and understanding, we can free ourselves from the chains of negativity. Forgiveness is not just an altruistic gesture. It is an act of profound wisdom that unravels the mysteries of the human soul and sets us free from the chains of negativity. Anger and resentment are poisonous flames that, when fueled, consume our tranquility and well-being. On the other hand, by choosing the path of forgiveness and understanding, we find an oasis of serenity and peace. The Stoics understood that forgiveness is the key to our own freedom. It is a beacon that guides us through emotional storms and offers us refuge in the harbor of serenity. Number 5, don't talk about your deepest dreams. Our dreams are like delicate seeds, precious and full of potential. They are best nurtured in the fertile soil of our souls, sheltered from the storms of skepticism and ridicule. The Stoics treasured the concept of self-sufficiency, finding richness and purpose within themselves rather than seeking external validation. They believed that true greatness lies in protecting and cultivating our deepest dreams away from the prying eyes of the world. In a world where external validation is often sought, the Stoics encourage use to protect our innermost dreams. Instead of shouting our dreams from mountaintops, we should safeguard them, cultivate them, and watch them flourish in their silent and majestic glory. This safeguarding is an invitation to rediscover the strength that resides within us and recognize that the most precious treasures are those we keep just for ourselves. Number 6, refrain from talking about your next steps. The Stoics understood that there was strength in discretion. By revealing every move in their lives, they could be subject to the whims of external judgment, often laden with criticism, envy, and malicious intentions. Self-sufficiency was celebrated as an invaluable virtue, and they chose to extend a hand of empathy and compassion instead of pointing fingers and criticizing others. They guided themselves with understanding and acceptance, recognizing that every person is a universe filled with internal and external battles, joys and sorrows, victories and defeats. Criticizing others can create ripples that disturb the serenity of the water, and instead of building bridges, it can often erect walls. The Stoic stance reminds us of the value of empathy, understanding, and kindness in a world where criticism is easily launched. Number 7. Don't talk about your moments of solitude. The Stoics embraced solitude as a sanctuary where the mind could dance freely, free from the shackles of external opinions. In their moments of retreat, they didn't feel isolated but connected to a rich inner universe filled with insights. Solitude wasn't seen as a void to be filled, but as a space where the soul could breathe and discover its inner melody. In an age of overexposure, the Stoics invite us to reevaluate the value of quietude and introspection. Number 8. Avoid discussing unlearned lessons. The Stoics believed that mistakes were not signs of weakness but maps for self-development. Embracing mistakes as opportunities for growth was a fundamental aspect of their philosophy. They turned their failures into foundations for growth, much like an artist turns a mistake into a crucial part of their work. In a world where oversharing is common, the Stoic perspective reminds us of the value of introspection and the dignity of silence. Number 9. Don't talk about your moments of silence. Many people seek to fill every second with stimuli and interactions, but the Stoics found strength in quietude. They viewed solitude as a sanctuary where the mind could dance freely, free from the shackles of external opinions. In a world where validation through social media has become a priority for many, the Stoics invite us to reevaluate our priorities and appreciate the value of introspection and silence. 10. Avoid talking about your unlearned lessons. Mistakes are universal, and how we respond to them reveals our character. The Stoics believed in embracing mistakes as opportunities for growth, not as signs of weakness. In a world where projecting an image of perfection is common, Stoic philosophy reminds us of the importance of introspection and the value of silence. Number 11. Refrain from discussing your deepest plans. The Stoics understood that there's no need to shout your plans to the world. Discretion is a strength, not a weakness. By protecting your deepest plans, you allow them to develop without interference, nurturing them in a safe environment. The Stoics remind us that true power often resides in what is kept secret, in the fertile ground where dreams can grow undisturbed. Thank you for watching. Your support is essential for us to continue sharing knowledge and inspiration. If you have any content suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments. We value your input and it guides us in our mission to bring you increasingly rich and impactful content. Here's a video discussing anti-Stoic habits that should be removed from your life. Watch it and let me know what you think.